Hey friends, I hope you're doing well this morning. My question to you today is this. How do you deal with your emotions? How do you deal with your feelings? No, not just the good ones, but the bad ones. See, we don't like to feel the bad feelings. We don't like to feel sad. We don't like to feel afraid or hurt or guilty or we don't like to feel the shame or incapable or being stuck. We don't like to feel anxiety. But all of us have ways of dealing with these things, and oftentimes it takes place in terms of like avoidance. Because we don't like to feel these things, we do something else. We avoid it by staying busy. Some of us actually, because we have no control over a situation, maybe we actually try to take control of our environment or take control of the people around us, thinking that if I can control everything around me, if I can control the people around me, then I can have peace because I can't control anything else in the world. Well, that actually does not work very well for relationships at all. Well, some of us like to eat. We like to eat chocolate. We like to eat just more food, tasty food. We like to eat more ice cream, sugary things, whatever that might be, and hoping that maybe that will help us to feel better. And I'm sure we've read those things on Facebook, right? That this is pre-COVID weight, and this is after COVID weight, and after we've been quarantined. And maybe you've even gained a few pounds yourself. We've also seen that when the liquor stores have opened up and such, that a lot of people like to drink and they just don't know what else to do. They don't know how to cope with that anxiety, and so they drink more and they drink more alcohol. Some people use more drugs and such too. It's sad, but a lot of times that we have a difficult time coping and dealing with emotions. And so what I want to do, I want to give you 4 things, and they all start with A, right? Because I'm a pastor and we have to have all points that start with the same letter, and give you 4 things to look at when thinking about coping and dealing with difficult situations and dealing with those difficult feelings that you just don't want to feel inside. The first thing to do is this, is ask. Right? Stop and ask yourself, why is it that I am needing chocolate right now? Why is it that I need to have a drink? Why do I feel like I need to be in control of everybody around me? Why am I getting mad or irritated at everybody? What's going on inside of me? Psalm 139 talks about, Lord, you search me and you know me, test my anxious thoughts and lead me to the way everlasting. And the psalmist is asking God, test me, test my anxious thoughts. And so if you find yourself going to any of these coping mechanisms, stop and just ask yourself that question. Why am I going here? What's going on inside my heart? What am I feeling? Which leads me to the second A, which is this: admit. Admit your feelings, admit your struggle, your emotions. See, we don't like to admit them very much, again, because we don't like them. Some of us even deny how we feel. And honestly, friends, we are created in the image of God, and so we are created to feel. We are created to have emotions, so to deny our emotions is to deny the image of God in us. And we might not like to do that because it's unpleasant, but we need to go to that place. Otherwise, we're just fooling ourselves and we're going to damage our relationships simply because we're not dealing with our emotions and we're taking that out on other people. So first we ask, admit what's going on in our emotions. And then we want to acknowledge. We want to acknowledge God's presence. We want to acknowledge God's healing. We want to acknowledge that God is there for us. He's with us. He's present. He has not left us, nor abandoned us, nor forsaken us. He is present with us. And so as we turn to Him with these emotions, then we have a wonderful counselor who is right there near us and will help us through this. Lastly, we want to accept. We want to accept His grace and His love. And what I mean by accepting is simply this. We want to believe that what He says is true. So when the Lord says, I am with you and I will never leave you nor forsake you, and sometimes how it feels inside, like, it doesn't really feel like that you are with us. It doesn't really feel like you haven't forsaken us because of all that we're going through right now. Well, listen, friends, He is not lying. And so it is up to us to believe what he has to say. It is up to us to believe that He is present and with us. If we don't believe it, we will not be able to receive that grace and that peace that He longs to give us, especially during these difficult times of anxiety or sadness or fear or shame or guilt or whatever that might be. So friends, ask, admit your emotions, acknowledge His presence, and accept the grace and love that He has for us. Friends, it's so easy to turn to our coping mechanisms, and it's so easy even to just not even know what our coping mechanisms are until, of course, after we gain weight, or after we drink too much, or after whatever that might be for you. So friends, remember that. Ask him, admit these emotions or feelings, acknowledge his presence, and accept his presence there. Believe him. He loves you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. And so work out those emotions through him, through Christ. I know coping can be very difficult for us, but when we cope with Christ, we can get through anything. And that's my prayer for you today. God bless.